Avoidance feels like relief. In the moment, it's easier, less effortful, and completely understandable. But avoidance is not free. It just defers the payment with interest. And in midlife, the interest rate is higher than most of us are prepared for. So today I want to make an honest case for why the thing you're avoiding right now is costing you far more than facing it would. Welcome to your daily hit of grace and grit, your quick dose of inspiration to kickstart your day. I'm Courtney Townley, and here is today's hit. Avoidance is one of the most human things we do. When something feels hard, uncomfortable, or even threatening, the nervous system, its most efficient solution is to just not deal with it. Look away. Push it down. Numb it. Tell yourself you'll get to it later. Tell yourself it's not that bad. Tell yourself you still have time. And in the short term, it works really well. The discomfort disappears, the relief is immediate. The problem that the thing you avoided did not disappear with it. It just went underground, where it continued to grow, compound, and gather interest until the bill comes due. And the bill always comes due. Here's what I want to say directly, because I think we dance around it way too much. Midlife is not the time to keep kicking things down the road. It is the time to get your act together around your self-care. Not harshly, but very honestly. Because the decisions that you make in your 40s, in your 50s, in your 60s are building the runway you will land on in your 70s, 80s, and beyond. And a long, strong runway means you have options. You have capability. You have the physical, mental, and emotional reserves on board to handle whatever life brings in those later decades. A short runway, one built on years of avoidance around your health, your habits, your relationships, your emotional well-being, means you run out of road. We talked earlier this month about what I see in my father's health right now, and that didn't happen overnight. It was built slowly over decades out of being too busy, too stressed out. I believe a lot of avoidance and the persistent belief that there was still time. There's always less time than we think. And midlife is the moment to act on that truth rather than avoid it. So I want to get specific here because avoidance rarely announces itself clearly. It looks like knowing that alcohol is a consistent problem for you, that it's disrupting your sleep, it's affecting your mood, getting in the way of doing the things that will actually improve your health, and continuing it anyway, telling yourself you'll deal with it when things calm down, when the kids leave, when work settles. But here's the truth. It's never going to be easier to address than it is right now. The longer you wait, the longer that those neural pathways, the stronger, those neural pathways become. The more deeply ingrained the habit becomes, and the harder it is to change. It looks like not starting an exercise program because you don't know where to begin, or because you've tried before and it didn't stick, or because you're waiting to feel more motivated. But motivation, as we've talked about so many times before, does not precede action. It follows it. And every year you wait, the starting point gets harder. It looks like never building stillness or quiet into your day because you're too busy, and then wondering why your nervous system is chronically dysregulated, why you can't sleep, why you feel perpetually overwhelmed. The busyness is not going to create the space. You have to create the space. It looks like the conversation you've been meaning to have for years, the doctor's appointments you keep rescheduling, the habits you know aren't serving you, that you keep meaning to address when the time is right. The time's never going to be right. That is the nature of avoidance. It always has a reason. So the biological reality that makes avoidance so costly over time is this. Every habit, good or bad, is a neural pathway. The more you repeat a behavior, the more established that pathway becomes. The brain is efficient. It automates what it does repeatedly. And this is wonderful when the habit serves you, right? It's devastating when it doesn't. What it means practically is that the longer you continue an avoidant pattern, reaching for the drink, skipping the workout, numbing out instead of processing, the more automatic it becomes, the more it requires to undo. The more willpower, time, support, and often professional help it takes to reroute. Addressing something now, while the pathway is relatively newer, is always easier than addressing it later when it's been worn into a groove for another decade. I'm not saying this to frighten you, right? It's meant to motivate you because the same neuroplasticity that makes the damaging habits harder to break over time also means that new, healthier pathways can be built at any age. It just gets harder and requires more the longer you wait. The thing that you're avoiding is not going to go away. It's waiting, and it's growing. Whatever it is, and you know what it is, the habit, the conversation, the appointment, the change that you've been meaning to make, I want to ask you honestly, what is it costing you to keep putting it off? Not right now, not someday, but right now, today, what is it costing you? Because avoidance always feels easier in the moment. It feels like the easier choice. But again, like I said at the beginning, the bill always comes due. And in midlife, you cannot afford to keep deferring it. Face the thing. Start now because your future self is counting on the decisions that you make today. And we want, again, to create a long runway of capacity and resilience as we age. If this stirred something inside of you, imagine what a whole book of clarity and courage could ignite. The Consistency Code, a midlife woman's guide to deep health and happiness, goes even deeper into the mindset and practices that create real, meaningful change at midlife. Grab your copy today over at theconsistencycode.com and keep the momentum alive.